Hey everybody, it is me, MaraWinterhyde here from 3DX Chat with another how-to tutorial for us 3DX builders. So I'm going to be uploading 2 videos in the next day or so, and the first one I want to show you about is they're actually both kind of tricks I learned about building, and they got brought up in one of the servers that I was in a couple days ago. So I joined 3DX in October of 2020, and I started building, I think my first day of building was December 28th, and at the end of it all, I came up with Club 21. So some of you have actually been there and seen that. That's actually my very first build. So in my building adventures, I learned 2 tricks. Now, before I go any further, I need to give a big shout out to St. Vitus for this because he's actually the one that showed me these 2 tricks. And he's actually the one that taught me how to build. So for all of you people that are coming out to my club events and enjoying them, thank you for the support. You can also give a big shout out to Saint because he's actually the one that taught me how to build. So I got to give a big shout out to him. Thank you, Saint, for showing me these 2 tricks I'm about to educate everybody on. Guys, you will definitely be thanking me for these if you don't know about these already. Some of us do. Some of you out there do, but some don't because I just found out a couple days ago some people don't know about this stuff yet. So the first thing I'm going to be showing you guys is the resizing of grouped or a bunch of selected items. So as you can see here, there's my avatar. There's me, Mara. I'm teeny tiny compared to this giant glass and bottle of cider. So when I was first learning to build, I was trying to build a champagne glass, and I did not know about this feature. So I literally spent 3 hours building a champagne glass to scale. I don't know if you guys have ever tried that before, but let me tell you, it was a very painstaking task. And when I went to Satan, I'm like, oh, look at the wine glass I just did. It took me 3 hours. And he's like, why the hell did it take you so long? I'm like, well, I had to build it to scale. He's like, why? I was like, what do you mean, why? How else am I supposed to do it? He's like, well, you could just make a big one and then shrink it down. I'm like, what are you talking about? And then he showed me. I was like, why didn't you tell me this like yesterday? He's like, because I actually didn't really know about it until now. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, you're off the hook. So anyways, that's my funny story about my champagne glass. So if any of you have been in that predicament, you are so going to love me when I show you this. So here is my Wider's cider. Okay, so let's first things first. If you want the entire thing resized, you have to make sure that every single piece that you want to be resized up or down is selected. So the first thing I need to make sure of is that my font is, because fonts have a bazillion pieces. Let me give you guys a fair warning. If you have fonts on any of your items, I recommend grouping the font together and then grouping the rest of the item together and then selecting the 2 separately. Here's why. If anything goes wrong and you need to ungroup everything, when you ungroup it, you are ungrouping every single individual piece. I have made this mistake before, and let me tell you, I lost hours of work. So when you select your font that, like, if I go to ungroup this, I'm going to, like, have a bazillion pieces I'm going to have to regroup again. So just a heads up, make sure that when you group everything together, if there's a font in there or if it's got a bazillion little pieces, that if you ungroup it, you're ungrouping the whole thing. So here we go. I've got the font grouped, top and bottom, and then I'm going to hold down the control key and select the rest of it because I've already got it all grouped together. Now watch this. So you got to make sure, first of all, that you're on center. Do not put it on pivot. I'll show you why in a minute. So make sure you're on center. Make sure you're on the center icon, which is the resizing of the X, Y, and Z axis. Look at the center of the gizmo. By the way, this is called a gizmo. This like 3-point thing with 3 different colors, that's called a gizmo. Look at the center. Now, press and hold down the shift key, and it turns to a white square. See? Press and hold the shift key, release it, and it goes back to normal. So you're going to want to hold down the shift key for this, and it's going to turn into a white square. You're going to put your mouse on the inside of that square, and it's going to go yellow. So left-click and hold it down. See what happens. Don't panic. That's just showing you where all your pieces are. Don't panic. Now, what you're going to do, if you want to resize it bigger, which I technically don't want to, but I'm going to show you this anyways. Drag up. Do you see what happened here? Every single piece that I had selected was resized and nothing came apart. So hold down the shift key again. The center of the gizmo goes white like you can see. Put your mouse in the center of it. It'll go yellow. press and left click and hold it down. And to resize it down, you're going to drag down. So obviously this is a beer bottle size, and like I'm teeny tiny. So you're going to want to, like, if you're doing a beer bottle or a wine glass, you're going to want to resize it down. So press and hold the shift key, put your mouse inside the yellow square, drag down. Boop. See? It's pretty much close to the size that you're going to want it. Do it again because I'm do. There we go. Now the fun part is you're going to have to like select this all, and you're going to have to like drag it to wherever you need it to go. Bit of a pain in the butt, but hey, it's well worth it in the end for detailed work. So that's how you resize something that has a bazillion pieces, and you change the size of it in one foul swoop. So you don't have to worry about adjusting the X and Y and Z individually. So if we hit Control Z, everything will go back to normal. Okay. Now, this is what happens if you have it on pivot. Watch this. If you put it on pivot, okay, just watch. And you hold the shift key down and you start dragging. Oh, it all comes apart. That's what happens. You don't want that. So then you hit Control Z and go back to normal. So once again, do this. Select your font. Put it on center. Press and hold your shift key down. Left click and hold down and resize. There you go. That is how you resize an item that's all selected or grouped together. If you guys have any questions or comments about this, please feel free to leave them in the comments section below, and I will respond to you as soon as I can. Hope you guys are having a great night, and I will see you all in game.